Welcome to the Oilers TV live pregame show. I'm your host, Tony Barr. The Oilers conclude a 4-game homestand tonight with another date against the Ottawa Senators. We're going to hear from the players right away here, beginning with Darnell Nurse. We'll also expect Kailer Yamamoto and head coach Dave Tippett. Let's jump to the Oilers Hall of Fame room now.
Again, if you have questions, please use the raise hand function. We'll start with Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Darnell, you're playing 24 minutes a game this year. You seem to be able to handle the increase in minutes played. How has it been from your standpoint?
Yeah, it's hasn't felt. Feels like I got a lot more in the tank, so it's a good sign. It's kind of prepared myself for that coming into the season, knowing that we'd be down a man that ate a lot of big minutes. So yeah, it's been good so far. Just gotta keep it going, keep taking care of the body, and it'll take care of me. Did you always feel you had this in you that you could play this many minutes in the NHL? Because they're not defensemen do tend, the number one defensemen on teams do tend to play that way, and you have to conserve your energy a little bit when you play that many minutes. Yeah, there's a give and a take. Obviously, you don't want to be running wild. You want to be in good positions and let the game kind of come to you. And at the same time, that in order to be effective, you have to have the energy to make plays and jump in when the opportunity is there. So, yeah, this is something I've always been pushing myself to get to. A point I've been pushing myself to get to minute-wise, and this summer probably even more so. So. Yeah, it feels good. I just feel like I got a lot more still.
Derek Van Diest, Post Media.
Hey, Darnell, I just want to ask you about playing a team a second time here, especially after you scored 8 goals on them the first time. What are you expecting out of the Senators tonight?
Well, yeah, it's not going to be easy task at all. Obviously, we scored 8, they scored 5, so there's things that we need to clean up as well. It's not so easy that we just strap them on and get going again. This is a team that's going to push hard. They're built to play with a lot of speed, a lot of hunger, and it's a team that I know anyone in this position, when you lose the first one, we've seen it time and time again. You come out so hungry in the second one. So this is a good test for us, and we got to obviously there's some things that we did really good last game that we need to keep doing.
And yeah, you did let in 5 the other day. There's some lapses sometimes in the defensive zone coverage. Is that something that you think is getting better though from game to game to game now? Is your defensive zone coverage? Yeah,
we're getting better. Our team's been getting better since day one, and there are going to be those moments in the game, but no, for the most part, if we keep things to the outside against every team in our division, I think we give ourselves a good chance each and every night. So yeah, we work on it. There's always tweaks that you have over the course of the season, and there's never been a perfect season. I've never seen one, so it's important for us to maintain that focus in our D zone and keeping everything to the outside, and being hard in front of our net.
Rob Chichkowski, Post Media.
Hey Darnell, you've been knowing a situation similar to Ottawa, where it's a rebuilding team with a lot of really good young parts on it, but you take some lickings along the way. I'm just wondering what the mindset is as a player in that situation. You don't want to be too hard on yourselves when you're losing, because you can see the big picture, you see what you're doing, but at the same time, you don't want to be accepting of defeat because it's a losing culture. How do you walk that line as a player?
I think as a player, you don't think of it that way at all. I think any player that plays in this league, every single time you put on your jersey and go out there on the ice, you want to win. There's no when that puck drops, there's no thinking of rebuild or anything like that. When the puck drops, what you want to do is win, and that's why guys are in this position and playing this league, because they're competitors. That's all they care about is winning. And so yeah, I mean, are they in a position where they're rebuilding and whatnot? Yeah, but I could probably, you could probably go through that whole room and ask them, when that puck drops, do they care about rebuild or not? That's not where their mind is. Their mind is on winning the game, and that's all that matters. So I know we've been in that position before, and as a player, like I said, that wasn't where my mind was when I got on the ice. So, we're losing, but it's okay in the grand scheme of things. It's not how guys think they want to win.
So just on another line, you're coming into your first three-day break of the season. You get a chance to maybe catch your breath a little bit and evaluate where you are. Where do you see yourselves at to 11 games? It's going to be 12 after this.
Not looking at that point yet. We have a big game tonight. Once we take care of that, then we can step back. But until then, these 2 points are the most important thing to think about.
Jack Michaels, 6:30 Ched.
Darnell, I just had one for you, and special teams tend to run in cycles. It seems like yesterday people were wondering when the power play would come around. Do you see any major adjustments you have to make on the kill, or are you just in a bit of a down cycle right now?
I don't know if there's any major. I mean, our system's the exact same it was last year, and we had one of the top kills in the league. It's if we could just be a little more aggressive in pucks that we're able to jump to. There's things like that. I think we're all hungry to be better on the kill. We don't want to be giving up as much as we have been, and I think there are some things that we know as a group we can do better to make that happen. And we have a lot of belief in the room in our kill and what we're able to do. So we just got to keep sticking to it. I mean, we could get down on ourselves when we get scored on a couple times, but that doesn't solve much. So we have to just stick to that structure that has been successful in the past, and clean up the details of it.
Tony Brar, Oilers TV.
Darnell, looks like Evan Bouchard draws back in the lineup. In his last game in the NHL in 2018, he actually got his first NHL goal and really showed no emotion, if you recall the celebration. Is his composure and the ability to keep his emotions intact, and especially in high-pressure areas, one of the greatest traits of Bouchard's game right now?
Yeah, Bouch is he's a guy that is just calm in every situation, like you said, and that's definitely what makes him so special. Because obviously, he's a guy that can adapt. You can't rattle him, and I think that obviously we're very fortunate to have him in this organization and on this team. I think someone was saying in the room he's got the longest goal streak going for 2 years now. He hasn't. So it's been. It's exciting to see him draw back in because obviously he worked so hard and prepared himself so much for the season. So it's exciting to see him come back in. And like I said, he's a huge part of his team.
Last question, Jim Matheson, Post Media.
I just want to ask you, Darnell, what's the difference between playing with Ethan Bear as a partner and Tyson Barrie, apart from the fact they both shoot right?
Oh, they're both really good D-men. Obviously, I've played with Bearsy a little bit more, Ethan, a little bit more. So we probably know where each other are a little bit more on the ice. Where Tice is a lot of fun to play with. You find him, coming on breakouts or across the blue line in the O-zone. You just know he's capable of making some unbelievable plays. So they're both special players, and real lucky to play with both of them.
Thank you. This concludes Darnell Nurse's media availability. By Kailer Yamamoto. Hands. Derek Van Diest, Post Media. Go ahead.
Hi, Kailer. Just want to ask you about playing the second game against the Senators. Just what's that dynamic like, knowing that you got to play them again after scoring 8 goals on them the night before? Do you expect a bigger push from them today?
Oh yeah, they're a really good team. I expect a lot from them. You can't take any team lightly, so I expect a really big push from them, and it's going to be a good game.
It's funny. Do you kind of see grudges holding over from one game to the next in the way the season is built this year with 2 and 3 game series?
Definitely with the series going on now, you definitely hold a little bit of grudge if you lose. So, I definitely think they're going to have a big push this game, and we just got to be ready for it.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
So Leon Draisaitl is sort of equal parts passer and scorer. You're never really sure whether he's going to have a hat trick game or a 3-4 assist game. When you get in the ice with him in a game like the other night and he looks like he's in pass mode, what's it like being his winger?
You just always got to be ready. The puck can come at you at any point during the game, so you just got to be ready and expect it a lot.
You've played with lots of different centermen and taken passes from all kinds of different guys over the years. What makes him? Why is he a better passer than everybody else? What's makes him such a good passer?
It's just every puck is so precise. He sees everybody on the ice. Even when you don't think he sees you and, makes that pass right on your tape. So I think just how precise he is and, just being able to see everybody on the ice so much.
Thank you.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Kailer, Evan Bouchard comes back in. He hasn't played in the league since over 27 months, I think. And you probably can speak to, the first few times you were in the NHL compared to when you came up last year. You were just more prepared to be an NHL guy. What was the biggest difference for you? Was it just adding strength, or what was it that allowed you to be so much more successful, as a little bit older of a player?
Playing in the AHL, I think I just helped my game all around, working on a few little things that I needed to work on, and confidence-wise, it was a lot better for me. When I first came up, I was a little hesitant, making plays and stuff, but the second time, I came up, I was definitely a lot more confident in my plays and stuff like that.
You know Bouchard quite well. I know you guys are close off the ice. What does he do best in his game? What do you like most about him?
I think the way he just transitions the puck, he's a really good skater, and having him back there with that vision, he's really good at breaking the puck out, so I'm really excited for that.
Thanks.
Any more hands, media? Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Getting back to Draisaitl, there's a difference between a passer who hits you on the tape and passers who actually the puck is always laying flat. It seems like when Leon passes the puck, it's not bobbling or it's not at your ankle level, it's right on the ice. You notice that? I mean, he sends a lot of passes that are flat. They're not bouncing all over the place, do you?
Yeah, that's the best passer in the game right now. Every pass is going to be flat, so you just got to expect it, even when you're not. I'm not sure how he does it, but he's pretty good at it, so hopefully he can keep going.
When you watch a player like that pass, can you pick up something from the way he passes the puck?
You try to, but he's a generational player. One of the best passers in the game right now. So it's, you can try to pick up on a few things, but I think he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve.
Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes Kailer Yamamoto's media availability. Please stay tuned for Dave Tippett. TSN.
Hey Dave, I'll just start with the lineup. James Neal took a pretty long skate here at the end. looks like he's coming out tonight. Is that the case? And what's the thought process if so?
Yeah, he's coming out and Bouchard's going in. We're playing 7D tonight.
So that 7 defenseman configuration, some coaches go to it now and then. Maybe just take us through the reasoning and why you think that's the right formation and what it allows you to do.
Well, what we're trying to do is get Bouchard in the lineup. And when you look at your defense core, you're looking at, left, right shots, what roles guys play. A lot of different factors come into it. So Bouchard coming in, Cuckoo will stay in the game or come back in. It gives us penalty killers, gives us power play, and we'll get a chance to get Bouchard up and running.
Bob Stauffer, 630 Chad.
Can you maybe speak, Dave, to the conditioning level at both Lagesson, because I think it looks like Lagesson's staying in tonight as well, but
yeah.
Were Lagesson and Bouchard ahead of maybe where some of the other guys were just because they had a chance to play over in Europe in the fall?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, they hadn't played in a while, so they quit playing over there in mid-December, so it's been a while. But when you have played in the season, it's easier to get it back up and going. So, we've got 9 defensemen. We feel like we can, they can play. Now we had 8 of them on the roster, so it's. I give the guys that weren't playing much, they give them credit. They worked awful hard and deserve an opportunity. And you'd like to see everybody play, but you just don't have that many spots at the time. So we're trying to get everybody up and running, and we'll see what. Eventually, we get our group to where we feel like you're comfortable with it and you're going to go with it. But with Bear's injury right now, Bush will get a chance to play.
Dave, let me ask you the question a different way. Did Evan Bouchard specifically look different in training camp this year, physically, body composition, that sort of thing, than maybe he looked with your first viewing of him a year ago in September?
Yeah, very much. It's just, Bob, it's maturity. He's maturing as a player. He's learning how to work as a pro. Kids come out of junior, especially a highly touted kid, plays so many minutes there that they play well, but they end up resting on the ice. And it's the maturity factor of getting into the pro game, training like a pro does, just committing off ice between nutrition, off ice activities, and the work you put on the ice. And it's a process that young players go through, and he's coming through that, and he's become a better player every day. He works at it, and he came to camp this year in great shape. And that just shows the maturity that he's gaining. And now he just needs some experience before his game gets up and going and becomes a good NHL player.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, it's kind of odd to see a guy come out of the lineup for 2 goals. What was the rationale for Neil being the forward who comes out?
You're looking at different aspects of the game that you're looking for, penalty kill, power play, just the way the adjustment went. With 7D, somebody's got to come out. He was the guy that came out.
So are you expecting then Turris, will he be a winger? Will you rotate your centers? How will you work the 11 forwards?
He could be a center, could be a wing. We'll see how it goes.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Caleb Jones is out again. What did you not like last game? It looked like he struggled last game. Is he still trying to find some traction? I know you're counting on him being a top 6 player every game, but he's sat out quite a few games now.
Tonight with Bouchard coming in, we've got some puck movement from him. We wanted Cuckoo in for a penalty kill.
And what about Ethan Bear's situation?
And I'll just add there, Lagesson played a strong game. We'll leave Lagesson in. And Ethan Bear is day-to-day. He skated today, and we'll see where he is tomorrow.
Yep.
Jack Michaels, 630 Chad. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, first, just a thought on 11 and 7. It's not something you use a great deal. Can you give me quickly pros and cons in your experience when you've had to go to that?
It's a unique situation because we're trying to get everybody involved, and with Bouchard coming in, you have to cover yourself on different parts of the game. We'd like to get Bush up and going, so that's the positive. That's the positive side of it. To see where we have. It's a unique year with no exhibition games, no chance to get going. You got to try to get people in, and I feel like with 11 forwards, Normally I like to run 12, but with 11 forwards, with not playing yesterday and we got a few days off, some extra minutes for some guys won't hurt them, and we'll see. Hopefully it works out well with the group of D and the 11 forwards.
The follow-up would be, you were very quick to point out you expect these games to get tighter later on in the year, and I'm wondering whether this might be an early test tonight, because I'm sure you're expecting a much tighter game and a real intense effort from Ottawa.
We're going to get a hard effort from them tonight. We expect that, and that's the game. The last game was kind of a choppy game. The special teams kind of defined it. But tonight I expect a much closer game. We're going to have to play a real solid game if we want a chance to get points. But you're going to play against a desperate team that you have to recognize that, and we have to play well.
Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Just on Chase put on waivers, clears. In your experience, when you put a player in the lineup after something like that, is there a chance you can get something extra from him after going through that experience, and is that part of the decision to go with him because he can also sit in that spot on the power play?
You know what? It's the waivers this year is a whole different animal than normal, because the waivers this year is it's more about roster flexibility, and not sending a guy to the minors. Like normally you put a guy in normal years, you put him on waivers and then he would be going to the minors. That's not the case with the taxi squad. So the waiver factor is a totally different thing this year. And we're looking for roster flexibility. Chase came in, he played a real strong game last game. And, we had, you're looking for certain different things in your lineup. We have some guys that play the power play. We wanted to get Neil up and running to see where he was at. So Chase missed some games, but played really strong. I expect him to come out and play another good game tonight.
Thanks.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Can we expect some more movement? Would Stuart Skinner go to the taxi squad then if Grosenick has to stay on the roster, because you don't want to lose him on waivers?
Yeah, that's what'll happen. Skinner will go to taxi and Grosenick stays on.
Okay. Is there a problem down the taxi? You got an awful lot of forwards down there. Is that just the case that you got so many forwards that there's a whole whack of them on the taxi squad?
Well, if you look at the roster, not the taxi squad, we got a whole whack of defensemen on here. So there's a whole whack of one or the other. That's what we need, the flexibility, so we can have a whole whack of players playing.
Thank you. This concludes Dave Tippett's media availability.
And there was Darnell Nurse, Kailer Yamamoto, and head coach Dave Tippett. Tippett confirming that the Oilers will go with 11 forwards and 7D tonight. Evan Bouchard slated to make his NHL return, his first NHL appearance and 8th overall since October 25th of 2018. Remember, that was also when he got his first NHL goal against the Washington Capitals. So just a quick run through of the Oilers lineup tonight. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Jesse Puljujärvi will make up the top line. Dominic Cahoon, Leon Draisaitl, and Kailer Yamamoto round out the top six, so no changes there. And then it will be Josh Archibald, Gaetan Haas, and Zach Kassian to round out the top nine. Yesterday, Dave Tippett was very complimentary in the game that Gaetan Haas played, and Haas said, yes, I feel a little bit more comfortable as opposed to last year. I feel like I'm able to do a little bit more in the offensive zone. He looks to kickstart his offense tonight. And Kyle Turris and Alex Chason will round out the 11 forwards. Now, on defense, Ethan Bear stays out, so it's Nurse and Tyson Barrie on the top pair. William Legason and Adam Larson on the second pair. And the third pair, well, I guess the last three in rotation would be Chris Russell, Evan Bouchard, and Slater Cuckoo. So it's Bouchard in and Neil out amongst the forward group. Remember, Neil did have 2 goals just 2 nights ago against the Ottawa Senators. And Mikko Koskinen is slated to get back in the starter's crease tonight. So A little bit of lineup news there. The Oilers, of course, rounding out the 4-game homestand with another date against the Ottawa Senators tonight. They'll go back on the road beginning on Saturday against the Calgary Flames down Highway 2. An 8-5 victory 2 nights ago. We'll see if the coaches will be a little bit more pleased with the defensive play between these two clubs tonight. Do note the puck drop tonight. It is at 8 p.m. Mountain, not the standard 7. So make sure you have your cup of coffee some point this afternoon. We don't want to get you too wired up and having it right before the game and you're up all night thinking about the Oilers win or loss, whatever the outcome may be. So 8 p.m. tonight on Sportsnet, and we'll have the live post-game show for you right here on Oilers TV. For my producer, Brock Boot, I'm signing off for Oilers TV. Tony Brar here, and we'll see you tonight.
This game is tied just as the power